Hi, this is Mark Wade from CenterCityCondos.com, and in this podcast I want to talk about Locust Point, 2429 Locust Street. And I'm just going to kind of talk off the top of my head as if you were sitting right next to me and we're having a little chat. So here goes. So the building was built probably around the turn of the century, last century, around 1900, and it was a rental building for a very long time since its inception to residential apartments. It was done by Historic Landmarks for Living, who did a lot of buildings in town in the 1980s, spurred on from what I understand by the historic tax credits that were available at the time. Now, there are 110 condos in the building, and let me kind of give you a little background. So, built in 1900, used as some kind of storage, warehouse, what have you, and then in the 1980s it was turned into apartments. And then probably about 2005, something like that, 2006, Historic Landmarks for Living broke off into a couple different segments, and somebody got a hold of the building. One of the partners took over the building and turned it into condos. And what he did, I think, was brilliant. So he takes the building, he puts on a new roof, he replaces all the windows on the outside, and he redoes the elevator, and he redoes the lobby, and redoes the gym, and then he markets every individual condo for sale. And you had some options then. You could either buy it as is, which was mid-'80s kind of blah, looking thing, or you could choose one of three different palettes. You had the light palette, and you had the dark palette, and then you had the medium palette, and that included floors and countertops and kitchen appliances and kitchen cabinets and bathrooms and the tile work and carpet and all that kind of stuff. Some of the units have parking. Not all the units have parking. It is a pet-friendly building, although there are restrictions as to the size of pets, and that's strictly enforced. Now, this is not a doorman building, but it kind of plays like a doorman building. Fantastic location down at 25th and Locust, which is real close to Penn. So, and the size of the units, I would suggest, if I had to, take a bet, I would suggest the average size of the units in the building is 800 square feet. The majority of the units are one bedrooms, although there are a lot of small two-bedroom units on the corners of each floor. There are 5 floors. And the two bedrooms are probably about 1,000, maybe 1,100 square feet. So there is a washer-dryer in every single unit, and every unit, of course, has its own central air and its own heating system. So you go in and your condo fees are going to cover, master insurance policy and maintenance and building insurance and the electric to run the elevators and the light bulbs in the hallways and the cleaning of the, and the exterior building maintenance. And they put a couple dollars away for a rainy day fund. But you have your own central air, your own heat, your own electric. Water is also included in the condo fees. So it's a popular building. It is an elevator building. There's one elevator. Just a kick-ass location, again, at 25th and Locust. The building was one of the fastest sellouts in its in Center City history, if you will. They put it on the market and it sold out in under a year, which is not bad for Center City. Knowing, if you listen to my podcast, you'll know that Philadelphians generally do not warm up to new buildings in town. They like to let them sit. They like to watch them suffer, and then when everybody else has put their money in, then the masses attack, and then the building sells out. But this building never really suffered through that short kind of with a lack of demand right from the start. So I really like Locust Point. I think the composition of the size of the units is appropriate for its location, being close to Penn. There are values were originally pegged upon 3 issues, of course, size and floor height. But what was interesting is that the south side originally commanded more money than the north side units, with the views of the north side. Now, that the floor height and the view kind of upgrade, the what you have to pay extra for those originally, that has a tendency to dissipate over time, because if we look at some 50-year-old buildings in town, we'll find that floor height or view is not necessarily the guiding light of value. The guiding light of value over time becomes interior condition. But the neat thing about Locust Point is that most of them are set up as what I call shotgun units, being, you walk into the unit, it's 18 feet wide and it's 48 feet deep. So and there's one big window towards, in the living room. When you open the door, you walk all the way in, and you look towards the back of the condo or the front of the condo, and there's a big window. Which means, so a shotgun style means that you couldn't really put in a separate bedroom. So what they did is they built it on a platform up about 5 feet. So almost all of the one bedrooms in the building, the bedroom is open to the living room. Now, when you've got a corner unit and you've got window, you can have those separate bedrooms, but in the 2-bedroom style condos here at Locust Point. But in the 1 bedrooms, almost all of them are loft style. There was a tax abatement. Tax abatement's just about running out now here in 2015. And what else can I tell you? I think it's a great building. I think it's a strong investment because, again, you're close to Penn. So unless Penn plans on picking up roots and moving to Walla Walla, Washington, you're always going to kind of have a built-in resale and or rental market should you decide to, you move and you want to rent it out. I think you've got a very strong a rental market there. I like Locust Point. I think the building was well done as far as the conversion is concerned. Nobody can take away the strength of its location, the fact that some units do have parking, and you're real close to the Schuylkill River jogging trail. So in my opinion, the building is really firing on all cylinders. What's not to like about it, So anyway, questions, comments, or concerns, pick up the telephone, push the buttons on the front, 215-521-1523, and let's talk about Locust Point and see if that might be of any interest to you if you're looking for a condo here in town. This is Mark Wade, CenterCityCondos.com. Thank you.